This is a 3D printed miniature version of me, but in just a second, I'm gonna make it move. Stop motion is one of the oldest, most fascinating forms of animation ever invented. It's also one of the most accessible. Anyone can try stop motion. That's what's so cool about it.
Look at what I've accomplished.
But to do it at a high level, you'll need to master sculpting, painting, armature design, still photography, and most of all, patience.
That's 3 weeks of work.
These are skills I don't exactly have. However, stop motion is still evolving. And lately, studios have been embracing new tools like 3D printing, motion control, and of course, visual effects. Now, these are skills we do have, so maybe we can make a stop motion film. And maybe we can do it in a way that's never really been attempted before. All we have to do is 3D print every single frame.
What's up, Wren?
What's up, Daniel, behind the camera?
I have an idea for a video, but I need your help to make it a reality.
Oh, is this the 3D printing stop motion idea you have?
Yes.
All right, what's the plan?
Here's the plan. Just like any animated film, I'll write a script, draw a storyboard, and assemble an animatic. It's a story about a man trying to rescue his dog from an evil robot vacuum. But here's where things get interesting. Most animators will animate to reference. We're gonna do mocap. Then we'll export every frame of that mocap and print it. And by photographing these prints in sequence, the characters will appear to move.
All right, today is the day we do mocap. We're gonna do all of our poses that will then be transformed into a 3D print.
Oh, dude, that's great. I love the way you're basically whistling with your whole body.
It's a cartoon.
You got all the way over.
Yeah, I was about to say, I went far, dude. Also, we've got a film documentary crew here because I'm doing that boxing thing called Creator Clash.
Nice guy versus other nice guy. No mercy.
They're filming us while trying to avoid filming you, Daniel. Mr. I don't want to be on camera. Daniel has been my longtime collaborator on a lot of these projects, and he's never on camera. In fact, we have a group photo of everyone in the studio, and technically Daniel is in the shot. He's just hiding behind everyone, and you can see his feet. But you can't see anything else from him. Why don't you like being on camera?
I don't know. I've always been that way. I've always been very self-conscious.
Okay.
And so when I get the sense that eyes are on me, I can't function.
Your voice has been in videos before. You don't seem to have a problem performing your voice on camera. Play to those strengths a little bit more. However you end up choosing to do it, I'm sure it'll be great.
Thank you, Wren.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. We have our mocap data. It's finally time to do our first test print. I get a photo scan of Wren and do what's called a multi-material print.
Oh, is this the multicolor print?
This is the multicolor print.
Remind me how long this took?
48 hours.
This was a 48-hour print? I know multi-material prints create a lot of waste. How much waste did this one make? Every time you want to switch to a new color, there's a little bit of the previous color still stuck in the nozzle that you have to purge out of the back. And that creates a new purge for every time you switch to a new color. And for a very colorful print, that adds up to a lot of waste. My God. I don't understand myself. 227 grams of plastic total for a 25-gram print. 89% waste is too much. We need a better way. We need something more efficient and less wasteful.
I think I have a better way, but it means starting from scratch in Blender. Now, I'm not too great with Blender, but my brother Andrew is, and he's been teaching me how to use it in exchange for, What I am great at is designing mechanisms that snap together. I've been obsessed with model kits since I was a kid, and it's always been a dream of mine to design my own. So that's exactly what I did.
You made me Lego. I'm a Lego. You turned me into a model kit. Wait, no way. But I don't want to break it. You separated the hair too? This is actually kind of nuts.
So how did I do this? Andrew and I rebuilt Wren from the ground up, adding snap fit mechanisms at every point where he changes color. Now when you export him to the slicer and click this button here, split to objects, he breaks apart into individual pieces that I can group by color and print separately, completely eliminating the need for a multi-material print.
But the head, the face is multi-material.
Actually, no. I'm really proud of this one. The eyebrows are drawn on with Sharpie, but the eyes are actually created entirely with shadow.
Show me.
They're holes. So by hollowing out the face, it creates a sort of shadow box inside the head.
Whoa, that's great. Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah, Daniel's idea for this is very good.
I will give you 2 guesses where I got this idea. One of the reasons I find model kits like this so inspiring is that there's no glue required, and assembly is so easy, a child could do it.
I see a head, 2 arms, and a face, pants,
But wait, what's this stuff here?
extra legs.
Yeah, they're like extra legs. It prints like this, flat. And it needs these extra structures in order to print properly. So the first thing we gotta do is we gotta get rid of those supports. Yeah, pull them off. Nice! These are the connector pieces. They connect the pieces together.
Oh, wow.
She got it.
I got it. The face, the hair, the shoes, and ta-da.
High five. Would you like to have one of these to keep?
Yes, so I will pick this one.
Daniel, I think this might actually work. Here's the thing though. This is going to be a asset management nightmare. All of the stop motion 3D prints I've seen have all been single color.
You know what that means, Wren? It's novel. This is so difficult. No one else has ever attempted it before.
And you're roping me into this.
I wouldn't do it with anyone else, Wren.
Oh.
Oh my God. I still need that.
We have to print out 1,000 individual 3D prints.
So it sounds like you're gonna need a whole lot of filament.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
Thanks, Bamboo. This video is made possible by Bamboo Lab, and to help us crank out these plastic body parts, they kindly provided 2 X1 carbon printers. That one's mine. These things are workhorses. We literally have to print over 1,000 different things for this project at very high levels of quality, and the X1Cs can do a full plate of these things in a single night. Although for the heads, we need maximum quality, and that's why we're printing these using Bamboo's 0.2mm nozzle, so we can get the kind of crisp detail usually only possible with the resin printer. That's why we're really stoked about Bamboo's more affordable line of printers, the A1 and the A1 Mini. The quick swap feature lets us change nozzles in under a minute and get back to printing like immediately. Yeah, right now Daniel's managing prints across 6 different printers from a single Bamboo Lab account, and he's using the Bamboo Studios software. It's very powerful. You can set up a print, select a filament, and Bamboo's automatic material system will just take care of the rest. Also, this is really cool. If you run out of filament like mid-print, it'll continue printing from your backup roll. And speaking of filaments, Bamboo has provided all of the filament for this project. Everything you're seeing in this video was made with Bamboo filament. Bamboo came in clutch on this project. It's literally not possible without them, so thank you guys a lot. And if you're ready to start your own 3D printing journey, just go to the link in the description and you can get a Bamboo Lab printer today.
Let me walk you through a typical day doing 3D printed stop motion. Every morning I wake up and pull prints off the print bed. I put each print in a specific bag because if I get them mixed up, everything burns. I go back to Blender, I get more shots ready to export. That means I clean up the mocap, I hand animate, I design a base, I choose a frame rate, I export a sequence of STLs. I actually built a plugin to help me do that, and it's been working great. Then I get more prints going. Anytime the printers are sitting idle is wasted time. Then I assemble Wrens for a few hours. I remove the supports. I add the snaps. I add these f***ing backpack straps with glue. I glue my fingers together. I peel them apart. I take a quick break to turn 33. I get back to work. Earlier I said this was so easy a child could do it, but when you do it thousands of times, it starts to take a toll on your hands. My fingers are destroyed. Thankfully I have some help, and they've been awesome. I hope Wren's having an easier time than I am.
What just happened to this? Where'd my parachute go? Something I've never seen before is a 3D printed simulation, because I think no one's crazy enough to do that. Daniel suggested, what if the character has a parachute that he opens up when he jumps off of a cabinet? Now, deploying the parachute was relatively easy. I just needed to basically start with the finished parachute and using a bunch of attractors and some turbulence and wind, kind of compress it down into a little ball. Once I did that, I can just reverse that sequence to have it unfold into the full parachute. But the parachute getting sucked into a little robot vacuum was considerably more challenging. But I like a good challenge, because this has some fun steps to it that I had to overcome. It was ballooning out a little bit and making like bubblegum faces over the creature. And the second simulation was a little bit closer, but I realized I needed to adjust some settings, such as friction on the top of the Roomba. It was kind of gripping it and stretching it. Eventually I landed on this. Now normally this is the part in the process where I would actually take this and render it out, but here the rendering is 3D printing, and that's a lot slower. So this is like 3.5 parachutes, and it's gonna take about 18 hours. And just rinse and repeat for the next 2 or 3 weeks. If we consider this as a render, this might be the longest render I've ever done.
Damn it! I was getting ready to film when I knocked Wren over. I broke his hand and all his little fingers. I can't fix that with glue. I gotta reprint that. Oh man. Thankfully, I have all the final STLs organized. Run up to glass, frame 30, print 5. Select just his left hand, print that. It's Saturday. I'm the only one here right now. The office is kind of creepy. 18 minutes! Hey, okay. Why do I have to be so clumsy? Focus. It's hard to film yourself. Okay. Back to it. Wait a minute. Are you seeing that? Why does he turn his head to the right? He's supposed to look down and to the left. How did I miss that? Oh my God, it's almost 10 on a Saturday.
So while Daniel's been, taking care of all the character animation and printing of all that, my responsibility has been trying to print out the parachute.
I'm Batman. That's so cool.
That actually is pretty satisfying. How do you print something like this, right? This fancy parachute has a lot of features and crevices and folds to it that would be kind of hard to 3D print without using a lot of supports. Or I could just split it down the middle and have it print on the print bed like this. And that way I don't have to use any supports. I just have to glue it together. But first I gotta find out which pieces go to which. What up, Steve?
What are those?
I'm gonna put these out on the ground to show you what they are.
Okay.
What does this look like to you?
I'm not on any psychedelics at all, so I don't know. It kind of looks like a parachute that's unfolding in sequence. If you look at here, let me see that one. It looks like you're making these giant bow ties. like comical bow ties.
We wanted to show it off as like a silky cloth. Well, there's a silk plastic material that's like, this should show off like cloth.
If he altered his voice just slightly, he could be Christopher Walken.
Silky cloth.
Yes, he could.
Wow, I gotta glue these parachutes together.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more parachutes. So Nick, you're an interesting character. You're both in front of the camera as a character, but you're also behind the camera as a creator. How do you navigate doing both of those things?
I've always been at Corridor a more behind the camera person. That's where I feel more comfortable. A lot of people on the crew here do both. It's like working 2 jobs.
You and I are both big brothers.
Yes. I have a younger brother. He's 5 years younger.
Same.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Andrew's 5 years younger than me.
No way.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility for him?
Yeah.
You guys hired my brother
Yes, we did.
to help me out on this project.
Yeah.
And it's honestly been really nice because I don't get to see him a lot.
There was never a moment where I realized I need to become the host. It was more just like, where do I fit in my career? Like, what is my career? And it's like, okay, what can I do? I think where it really finally clicked was the Scale of the Universe video. It was me identifying some things that I was really good at and trying to figure out a way to combine those things together. And out of that came passion. I was really passionate about these things that I was working on.
Whenever you get into the situation where you're trying to make something new or something that's pushing yourself, it's gonna take more work than you expect, because around every single corner is a new problem you've never solved before.
Here's one problem I've never solved before. How am I supposed to fit a camera inside the printer? That can be the build plate. These can be the threaded Z-axis rods. Sides and the roof. This can be the door. And that's not the only bit of trickery I've had to pull for this video. In the very first shot of the short film, you'll see this house print in time-lapse before Wren bursts through the door. This is the tallest house that I could fit in the printer's build volume. But you'll notice Wren is actually too tall to fit through the doorway. So to get the shot where he comes through the door, I'm gonna have to use another classic stop-motion trick. Multiple scales. This house is actually so big it needed to be printed in 2 pieces. I printed these little inserts to turn the windows white. A little piece of clear plastic provides the reflections. The door is a multi-material print, and for the hinges, I found these tiny hinge mechanisms that print in place. Like I'm a dollhouse maker.
Hi, I'm Wren. This is my house. I don't want to play anymore. Bye.
Here's his lawn that the house sits on top of. And this is a shadow box to make sure the inside of the house just falls off to shadow. As you can see here, there's a little cutout for a Wren to slot right into. And there you have it. Two scales of the same scene. But who lives in this doghouse? Every 3D printed man needs a 3D printed man's best friend. Okay, want to take a break from the Wrens and work on a dog? The thing I find interesting about this shot is we're using some stretch to really give the animation some character.
Atreyu! Totally Falcor. We almost named my dog Gizmo Falcor.
Would you like to see a picture of my dog?
Aww.
This is Arrow, the dog I grew up with. He's not with us anymore, but I've been thinking about him a lot during this video. The saddest part was I wasn't there. I was away at college, and if I'm being honest, it hit my brother Andrew the hardest, because he'd known that dog most of his life.
Yeah.
Today is the day where we're doing our biggest, most ambitious shot yet. You will notice every single Wren has a little ruler on his base.
Line up the ruler with this, match that up, remove the ruler, hit record on the camera, hit go on the robot arm. Normally with stop motion you get a picture, but what we're doing is recording a video through the entire motion so that we can actually change when it cuts to the next frame of the animation in the edit. Go back, rinse and repeat with, how many are these?
51.
There's 51 of these. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, so now we're getting to an interesting point where the camera is actually in the way of where these running guys need to go. And it takes a little bit more time. It's a little bit more complex. How much harder can it get?
We have arrived at the point where he is now off his base. We have to rely on the tools that real stop motion artists use now, like the winder.
These armatures were provided by CineSpark, and they're actually like legit stop motion armatures. You can move them up and down here, so you can get this guy to be exactly where you want. About there, okay, and stop. That's a wrap on this one shot of the video.
It's like 6 in the morning. I gotta move this robot. I have 2 days left to finish this project. And there's so much left to do. I gotta land this plane, guys. Just like Wren said, play to your strengths. All right, so I need a robot arm move up here on the mezzanine, but I can't move the robot arm up to the balcony. So instead, I attach the robot arm to some rods. The rods attach to a slider, and a slider attaches to this jib, and the jib has the camera.
This is the most insane, janky setup for a cinematic shot I have seen in my entire life, and I love it so much.
It's finally parachute time, the shot you've been looking forward to for the whole process.
It's just a simple matter of putting it on the Roomba, snap the picture, take it off, put the next one on the Roomba, snap a picture. 3, 2, 1, action! Cut! That's a wrap! I have to go. I was like, I'm gonna be home at like 7 p.m. tonight, Jenna. I get home at 8:30.
Yeah, Lauren's barely seen me since the winter break, basically. And I've got a very big day tomorrow. I have 1 day left to finish this video. But at the same time, it's also the most fun that I've had in a long time. The interesting thing about this shot is that his pose isn't animated, his clothes are. Andrew added these wind ripples to his clothes and even to his hair that progress over time. So when you play through them, it looks like the wind is whipping through his clothes. Man, Andrew did such amazing work for me on this project. If you have a little brother that you're proud of, do me a favor. Write "Good job, Andrew" in the comments. Check this out. I want this Roomba to be able to turn repeatably in the shot. So under there, that's the zoom motor from the robot arm. Moment of truth. Will this Roomba turn? Okay, actual moment of truth. I balanced it using a bunch of batteries. Let's see if it spins. Trying a different base. I think this gets to the heart of why I don't like to be on camera. I prefer to fail alone. There's no one here to watch me fail. I can fail as many times as I need to. And the thing about failing over and over again is that eventually you succeed. It works! Yes! How does an introvert stand out in a room full of extroverts?
Channel your inner self. whatever that inner self is. Daniel, you're incredibly clever and very good at finding great stories and very good at storytelling.
Find some friends crazy and kind enough to take a chance on you and learn how to tell your story through them.
Pushing yourself, it's going to take more work than you expect.
And out of that came passion. I was really passionate about these things that I was working on.
Maybe the reason I got my printer was just to spend more time with my brother.
Being on camera is a skill. You know, you gotta kind of figure out who you are as a person, and getting more comfortable with that is everything.
I finish over 2,000 3D prints. I program 30 camera moves. I animate 40 shots. Sam does sound. Casey does color. Dan helps me edit. Wren does VFX. I take a quick break to get engaged, and then I finish the short film. I really hope you like it.
Haha! Yeah! Huh. Huh? Now that the short film is finished, what are we gonna do with all these little mini-me's lying around? Well, I think you guys deserve them. So we're gonna put them up on quarterdigital.store as a limited run. It's a great way to support the channel. It's a great way to make sure these don't go to waste. Plus, you get a really cool desk toy out of it. Now, I'm also going to sign each and every one of these, and everyone is gonna come with its own little dog as well. Now, they're gonna be a random drawing, so you don't know what you're actually gonna get until you open the package. It might be this one, it might be that one. I look like I'm doing like a Michael Jackson, woo! Some of them might break in transit, but they should be pretty easily glued back together.
It's part of the story. It happened to me.
What about the parachutes? Well, we're gonna be giving those away at Open Sauce this year. So come and find me and Daniel. You won't know what he looks like, but he'll be there, and we'll make sure that you get one while supplies last, of course. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed Daniel's passion project. He literally made a freaking model kit out of me, and maybe you can get one too. Quarterdigital.store, it supports us. Thanks for watching.